Hi there, it's a good time to be here, and thanks a lot for always staying with us here on Prime Morning. It's a Monday morning if you just tuned in here on the show. Thus, as Prime Morning, of course, we are on News Flash, and it's proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise, still phone Papa Pathie. And this Christmas season, we're entreating you to make your way to Franco Trading Enterprise and grab things for yourself. If you're looking forward to getting some gadgets, so we're talking about phones, we're talking about CCTV cameras, and those of you out there who also want to get some air conditioning, so it's the place you want to go. Your refrigerator, you want to change it, you want to buy a new one for your house, Franco Trading Enterprise is the best place for that. Don't forget, we've got quality guaranteed, and that's the reason why we're asking you that just walk into any of our branches and trust us that you will never regret it. Franco Trading Enterprise has got branches here in Ghana, and of course our app is available on Google Play Store. You need to do is to download it, and you're good to go. You can get all the info that you need. Speak to us on the numbers that are on your screens, and please do not pick any number on social media to call us on. Call the numbers that you can see on your screens right now. So yes, if you want to make sure that somebody has a very beautiful Christmas this season, you can just go ahead and buy something for them. Now we've got iPhones, we've got Nokia, we've got Samsung, and also we've got some accessories as well. Now we're doing a 40% discount on our accessories, and so any accessory you buy from us, you've got a 40% discount, and that's what we're giving you this Christmas season. So please go ahead, your new iPhone charger, your AirPods and all of that, all you got to do is to just go to Franco Trading Enterprise, and you get to have an open the 40% discount that we're giving you. You can never get any of this from anywhere except Franco Trading Enterprise. Franco Trading Enterprise says still phones Papa Pie Field. Don't forget, our website is available, www.francotrading.com, and that's where you can also have all the info that you need in terms of what to buy, where to buy, our branches, and all of that. We're grateful to Franco Trading Enterprise for making it possible for us to have this conversation here on the show. And you can send your messages to us. Let us know what you think about the conversation we're having this morning, and you know that we're still waiting for the 7th of January, where we're going to have the president sworn in. And until then, the processes that have been laid, including the transition process, where we've got two teams from both parties, the NDC and the NPP, together, making sure that we have a seamless process. Now, a couple of things have come up with regards to that, who is abolishing what, who is stopping who from recruiting people, and all of that. All those have come up in the process of the transition. But today, we want to take a look at something that a lot of people might probably think that it's possible, it's feasible. Others might also say that it's not, because we don't have what it takes to be able to find ourselves as a nation on that pedestal. And we're looking at making Ghana, or building the Ghana that we all want, and making it the black star of Africa. Is that possible? The president in waiting, the president-elect, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, paid a courtesy visit on the Chinese ambassador and actually spoke about a few things that he's looking forward to achieving as far as this term is concerned. And he mentioned that he wants the Ghana that we all live in now becomes the black star of Africa. And that's a promise, because he feels that at this point, he's got nothing to take away. It's all about leaving a legacy, one that would impact the African continent, and he's looking forward to achieving that. Now, the question we're asking is it feasible, or it's far-fetched? And so you want to join us, let us know your thoughts on that. Send your messages to us. Our WhatsApp is very active. You're on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and of course on X as well. You can also join us and send your messages. We'll be reading them a bit later here on the show. My guest in the studio this morning, I'll be introducing them to you, and then we'll get into the front pages of the following newspapers that we have over here. We've got Searchlight, we've got Supreme, we have Chronicle, and a few others that I'll be sharing what have been reported on the front page. But let me introduce my guest in the studio. Gideon Tettey Tetteh is here with me this morning. He's a lawyer and regional director for conflict resolution, representing the NDC. Gideon, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, brother. How are you doing?
I'm good. And
fantastic.
Yeah, it's always fantastic when it comes to the NDCs. At this moment, it can always be fantastic.
It is joy and joy and joy. We are grateful to Ghanaians. Let me say good morning to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. I also say good morning to the Honorable Emmanuel Ni Ashimore. He is now called Chairman 31, the Greater Accra Regional Chairman.
Well deserved.
Yes, under his auspices, unprecedented, he has chopped 31 seats for Greater Accra out of 34. And so I can imagine how the NPP Greater Accra regional chairman will be feeling. He's only governing 3 seats in the whole Greater Accra. The whole Greater Accra is only managing 3 seats. That's very embarrassing. The most humiliating defeat for the NPP. But I'm grateful to Ghanaians. Ghanaians have only shown that indeed they are actually dissatisfied with the management of the economy by the NPP. And to us, we will say thank you to Ghanaians. We want to assure Ghanaians that we will not disappoint them. The things that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has promised in the first 120 days, we'll get it done. And of course, we cannot do that alone. We need the prayers and support of Ghanaians. And so it is not that once they have voted, they will just sit back and fold their arms and watch us do what we do. They should actually come give us feedback as and when it is necessary.
You're ready to take feedbacks?
Of course. They should
we've seen how feedbacks have ended in several protests.
You can see how His Excellency Dramani Mahama showed some sense of humility yesterday, even at the Thanksgiving ceremony and all that. And so feedback and criticisms helps or shapes the way and manner we run operations as human beings or as an organization or a country. And so our doors are open. And of course, unprecedented, the first female vice president of Ghana, Her Excellency Opoku Agyeman. And so clearly, we are just waiting.
But you got 4 years, though.
Yes.
And
4 years.
And everybody
4 years.
keeps
4
saying
years.
power is transient.
Of course.
I'm sure that's also something that you're also looking at. A maximum 8 years. If Ghanaians are not getting what they want, you're probably also getting a kick.
Yes. 4 years based on our manifesto was for 4 years. And His Excellency John Dramani Mahama knows that he has one last term. And so whatever we have promised Ghanaians is within 4 years. And definitely we will deliver them. But as I said, it cannot be done alone by the NDC, but we need the support and prayers of Ghanaians so that at least we will carry each other along and make sure that we reset Ghana as we have always promised.
Very well. We're going to be getting into the substantive issue very soon. Let me get on the front page of the newspapers that we have. The Daily Searchlight of this morning says, strange times, police commander brutally assaulted at police headquarters by youth. He denies a shooting incident leading to assault, and that's the front page of the Daily Searchlight. And away from that, cholera claims 3 lives in Takwa Assume municipality, and loud warning bells, the NDC to amend 1992 Constitution. That's also captured on the front page of the Daily Searchlight. And so we'll move on to the next one, which is Supreme newspaper. It says, ignores ugly noises over free SHS abolition. John Mahama tells Ghanaians, and a lot of people feel that there's going to be the abolition of the free SHS, and some also feel like they are coming back, or the NDC also feel like they're coming back to make it even better. But that conversation has been around, and John Dramani Mahama has responded to it, and it says people should ignore that noise of red. A queer free secures Ablekuma North and resolve Pram chieftaincy killings to cement a historic legacy. Suleiman Brahima commends police for professionalism during the 2024 elections, and Supreme Court dismisses Nana Nchibosiako's certiorari application. That's also captured. The lawyers will be able to explain this for us. I've got a lawyer in the studio as well, so I'll come back and find out what that means. Now, the Daily Dispatch this morning says, we accept election results with humility. We will emerge stronger for 2028 NAPO and meet NPP's transition team from Fremont Osei Opare to Kandapa, and meet NDC's transition team from Julius Debra to Do Ajaho. That's something you can read about in the Daily Dispatch if you grab a copy for today. The Chronicle this morning says that payments and recruitment not halted by transition team Fatima to clarifies, and the Konfi chiefs elated over Mahama's victory. 4 remanded over a cruel attack in Ho. That's also reported by the Chronicle this morning. And Liverpool fight back with 10 men to deny Fulham. Arsenal drop points at home in goalless draw with Everton. Just of you out there looking for some sports news, that's for you. Over the weekend, some sports action. Now, the Guardian publisher this morning says Mohammed's hypocrisy exposed, justified last-minute appointment in 2016, condemns the same in 2024, and the ADB refutes defamatory claims against the DMB. And away from that, government dismisses NDC's transition license, says no decision to halt payments or recruitments, and Prudential Bank donates to Breast Society of Ghana, showing some goodwill over there. And yes, away from that, in today's newspaper is here and it says we won't cancel free SHS. Mahama reassures Coconut Grove Beach Resort celebrates 30th anniversary in style. And that's also the front page of the Today newspaper. And congratulates Mahama. You can also get a copy of Today and read all about those stories. Away from that, the Daily Analyst here this morning says, my government won't scrap free SHS, Mahama reassures. And Ken Ofori-Atta was more powerful than Akufo-Addo. Andy Appiah could be fires. And you know, he's been speaking after the elections and including certain issues of poisoning that he's been talking about. President Albert Kwabena Jomfo, a transformative leader in Ghanaian journalism, and you can read about it. That's the GJA president, and yes, indeed, he's been very phenomenal when it comes to leadership at the GJA. I think over the years, he's really done well for himself, speaking truth to power, and you know, in some cases, very, very uncomfortable, but he stands his grounds to be able to let some of these things come out. And so, yeah, I cannot agree with what he's been able to achieve so far. Now, election 2024, Suleiman Ibrahima commends police for professionalism, customer care, and service experience integral element of brand positioning. You can read about that, promoting safer cookings. NPE advocates use of gas over firewood and charcoal. That's also the Daily Analyst this morning. So just grab a copy of the newspapers and read about it. And we're going to get into our major issues. But once again, you can send your messages to WhatsApp. Our WhatsApp line is active. We're streaming live on Facebook. And so you can drop your messages on Facebook in real time. We're going to read them as well. On X, we are also available. So do well and send your messages over there. This morning, we're asking, making Ghana the blaster of Africa. Is this something that it's impossible? Is it feasible? Is it even far-fetched? That's what we're taking a look at this morning. The president-elect has promised that he's going to ensure that he leaves a legacy that will impact on the African continent and not just Ghana. That's making Ghana the blaster of Africa. And we want to find out indeed if this is possible. You know, he's got 4 years to do this, and it begins on the 7th of January. So what you make of that, send it to us and we'll read them. I've also been joined this morning by Nanayao Sapong. He's a political assistant to Alan, the Movement for Change. Good morning, bro. How are you doing?
How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. How was your weekend? A good one?
Yes, it was. We had the opportunity to at least rest and to observe what's happening in Ghana and to assess the atmosphere, how peaceful it is, and to see whether or not that this week would smile to the city. I mean, elections are over, business will continue, and we just pray and hope that at least God will do us good this week.
Very well. Thanks a lot for making time for us this morning. We're grateful. Let me begin with Gideon.
Yes.
Now, everybody's saying that the honeymoon is over. The talk is over. Everything is over. Now we've got the real work on the grounds. The president believes that he's got 4 years, but to him, it's not 4 years of coming to parade himself around as somebody who doesn't even know what he's coming to do in the first place. He's actually building a certain standard and making certain pronouncements that seem to place him on a level where you would feel that we're just about experiencing a certain Rwanda in Ghana. How are we looking at it from within the NDC?
All right, thank you very much. With the way Ghanaians voted for us and actually gave us 187 seats in Ghana, confirmed. And the fact, as I said, even in Greater Accra, 31 seats out of 34. We are extremely glad. We are actually not even in a honeymoon. The very moment Ghanaians voted for us massively, if you listen to the acceptance speech by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, you indicate that clearly we are in business. We are actually brainstorming, making sure that at least we know what we are about when after December 7th. And of course, I indicated that there are 10 policies that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama would implement in his first 120 days. The first one is to nominate within 14 days his list of cabinet ministers for parliamentary approval. And you know that once we are sworn in, if within 14 days His Excellency John Dramani Mahama nominates his cabinet minister for parliamentary approval, it means that we are ready to kick off.
And we're still sticking with the 60?
Of course. And as I said, we are going to constitute the most leanest and most efficient government within 90 days.
We won't have situations
we are not
where we have
crossing
deputy.
No, we are not crossing 60.
Deputy information.
We are not
deputy
crossing 60.
information.
There are a lot of positions that can be merged, right? Don't forget that in the previous administration of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the Ministry of Information and Communication was put together. There was nothing like Ministry of Railways and Ministry of Transport was put together and included airport, railways and everything. And so this is not new. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has done it before. This time, as he said, he's going to make sure that we stick to the 60 ministers. Now look, we're also going to ensure that there's this robust code of conduct and standards for the government officials, which means that government officials cannot just do whatever they want, as compared to Akufo-Addo Bawumia government, where it was business as usual, laissez-faire government. Anybody can do whatever they do, and then there is a chief clearing agent who would just say that, well, you have been cleared, and even if you resign your position and he's accepting your speech, he will add a clause that I know that with time you'll be vindicated. That would not be the portion of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Now, another point is that we're also going to hold a national economic dialogue to discuss the homegrown fiscal consolidation solutions. Of course, the CD and all the financial matters affecting
That's a major issue.
Don't forget that as we speak, the people of Ghana are extremely happy that they voted out this government because the economy was actually in a mess. And I've always maintained that when the CD has fallen, it affects everything. And so, and once it affects everything, even your fuel goes high, and then everybody is in a mess. People spend a lot of money buying goods and purchasing goods, and then they get nothing because as at the time they buy, according to maybe a CD to the dollar, by the time they sell it, the CD has depreciated and all that. So there's going to be an economic dialogue. As I told you, we are not interested in running this government or this country alone, even though we are aimed or we have an eagle eye in terms of resetting Ghana. We believe that we want to carry Ghanaians along. And so, as I told you, we need the support and prayers of Ghanaians to carry so that we can carry them along and make sure that we reset Ghana. So that dialogue is going to bring about, that will be the platform to brainstorm and share ideas as to how we can provide solutions in this country in terms of our fiscal issues. And also, one of the good things or the joy of Ghanaians is to scrap e-levy. The day of election, I was going to do mobile money, right? This mobile money vendor said that the reason why he will vote out MPP is because MPP has destroyed his mobile money business. And I said, why? It's because of the e-levy. At least that alone, on the day of election, in the morning, that alone made me know that the MPP was losing the election, because it meant that if one mobile money vendor is saying he's voting out MPP for the fact that his Momo business has been messed up, then it means that that is actually the mind of many Momo money vendors. Because obviously, if you are sending money, you calculate that way. When I'm sending maybe 10,000 cedis or 5,000 cedis or maybe 1,000 cedis, this is how much, or 500 cedis, this is how much will go to the Momo, and then they also tell me how much is going for e-levy. And one of the smart things of MTN, they will tell you, they'll show it to you that this goes to us, this one goes to this. So it will not be that you don't even know the breakdown. And that alone is why His Excellency John Dramani Mahama we are saying that in our first 120 days, we will scrap e-levy. We will also scrap COVID levy, which is a nuisance tax. We will scrap the 10% levy on bet. Ghanaians, there are many young guys don't have jobs to do. One of the things that they want to enjoy is do the betting, and then when they win, then you take 10%. We are scrapping that out. We also go to ensure that we will scrap the emissions levy, and all that will be done within the first 90 days in office. We will also commence, a drafting legal amendment for the implementation of a 24-hour economy. Remember, we told you that was one of our key message, the 24-hour economy. One of the ways, or the fastest or best ways to solve unemployment is to implement the 24-hour economy. And we recall, all the times that I come to the station, I indicate to you that we are focusing on the construction sector, agro-processing sector, pharmaceutical sector. And the point is that the 24-hour economy is to actually encourage businesses to come on board. Once you have a business and you subscribe to the 24-hour policy, government is going to support you with funding. Apart from that, we are going to give you incentives and cut down these taxes and even import duties and all that. So, at that time, when people were saying that, we are already in 24-hour economy. The difference between what they were saying and what we were saying was that if you're a private company, government will support you so that at least you can employ more people. And
government have the plans to do that.
Of course, you see, unemployment, right? We every single year the unemployment rate keeps rising. We have had discussions about unemployment many times, but it becomes very difficult because every day government wants to set up institution, knock up and all that, and say we employ people. And in the long run, how much do you pay them? 700 cedis, 500 cedis. But the 24-hour economy is not new because countries like France, Britain, and all that are already doing it. And so Ghana will not be the first country in the world to implement the 24-hour economy. We are finding a lasting solution to unemployment. And that is why we believe that despite the fact that we are going to make sure that some institutions, some of the institutions or the sectors will be running in 24 hours, we are actually encouraging private companies to come on board, support them. And once you support private companies with funding, you cut down their importation levy, their taxes, you give them tax incentives and all that, automatically it means that they are saving money. And if they are saving money, it means they can pay more salaries and they can employ more people. Don't forget that sometimes taxes is also one of the reasons why some companies do not want to employ. Because when they do their calculations, they see that, if in the long run, if I pay my taxes and what is left, but once we are giving them tax incentives and all that, automatically it means that you have enough money to be able to employ. Look, we also go to ensure implement. I'm giving the 10.
No, wrap up on this one.
I'm wrapping.
So I'll come back to you again.
We implement the no academic fee policy for first-year students in public tertiary institutions. We've already said that. We also institute a government policy banning political appointees from purchasing state assets as compared to Akufa.
No, we'll delve into that.
Yes. I'm giving it. So the last one.
Don't add into it. It's something that you explain.
I'm saying 10.
Yes, but I know. No, we're going to come back to it again.
You give me a chance to.
Yes, exactly.
I have two more. I'll just give you two more. Look, yes. We'll also do the forensic audit on the banking sector, the COVID-19 expenses, and other operating aura, and then we'll also reopen the probe into the 2020 election killings and the also West Wagon by-elections and all that. And so basically, these are the 10 policies that we'll implement within the 120 days under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Okay, we'll come back again and then take a look at that because you know that all of these things.
Yes, so at least I have
the major
more
thing
to
that
explain.
Exactly,
yes.
we're going to be have to be doing with funding and all.
Of course.
We'll get back to that.
Exactly. So.
But let me take the thoughts of Nana on this one.
My brother, thank you, and then thank you to my colleague here, and a very good morning to Ghanaians.
And because of our time, let's do 5 minutes for every submission, so we'll be able to exhaust all the things that we have.
Who are watching? When I saw the list of items that His Excellency the President-elect had put before Ghanaians, I asked myself a very simple question: Why are they putting so many things on their table? I believe that Ghanaians give him an overwhelming support.
Yeah.
not because Ghanaians would want him to rush in doing things. I believe that even if Alan had won in the first 120 days or so, so many of the things would have to take a very systematic process to be able to achieve.
But then Alan will be looking at 8 years or even 4 years or 8 years.
Nobody is looking at whether 4 years or 8 years. What we are looking at is setting right the fundamentals, putting in place the measures that would give us a solid foundation that would hold the economy to be more stable, to be more resilient, and to be strong during the times of storm. And not an economy that will be blown away by some wind from Savannah. When we are looking at building a solid foundation for an economy, I have heard them say or talk or try to compare us to Rwanda. And when I have heard that, my heart saddens.
Why?
Ghana is far bigger than Rwanda in terms of economic figures, in terms of resources, in terms of democratic stability, in terms of the rule of law, in terms of industrialization. Rwanda is practically learning from Ghana. I would prefer we compare ourselves to a more solid economy, to a more stronger economy, to a more developed economy. I prefer we do better. We shouldn't behave like the Ghana Revenue Authority, whereby they set a certain standard target for themselves, which is very much achievable even when they sleep in their rooms. They go to achieve it, then come and tell Ghanaians that, oh, we have over collected revenue, and they go to throw parties and pay themselves some bonuses. No, absolutely it's wrong.
But you don't think in terms of strategies, in terms of attitudinal change, which of course you mentioned in your manifesto.
Yes, so that if you had allowed me to flow.
No, because you mentioned that the Rwanda comparison, that's what I'm asking.
You have allowed me to flow.
Okay, please go ahead.
One thing that we all need as a country is a mindset change, which we had stated categorically and explicitly in our Great Transformational Plan.
Yeah.
The mindset change in every aspect of the economy, from our education to health, security, to education, everywhere. We need that patriotic mindset change, where we would see Ghana as the only place of abode, where we would see Ghana as the only place we have. And so if we are able to develop that mindset change by way of inculcating it through our educational system, all right? So right from scratch, that child knows that he ought to be patriotic. That child knows that I do not have to litter around. That child knows that when I go to the office and they give me a pen, I do not keep it in my house as if it is my bona fide property. That child growing up knows that leadership is given to you not to be power drunk. That child knows that growing up, I should be able to control my emotional intelligence, that I would not be involved in the arrogance of power. All right? We should be able to inculcate in our young men and women like ourselves growing that you just do not become a millionaire or a billionaire. You just do not own a house or a car. but you need to go through a process. If you are in school, you need to be able to learn. You need to be able to go through some mentorship and apprenticeship, which we have in the Great Transformational Plan. If we want Ghana to become an enterprise Ghana, which we were actually trumpeting, then we need to take certain fundamental steps. All right? So after senior high school or after the SHS, what happens within the 1 year or 6 months that the child will have to stay at home? What sort of mentorship and apprenticeship are we going to give such a child? What is that young man or woman interested in? What are the things we put in place to be able to secure that talent that we have? All right. What are the steps or the framework we're putting in place to entice the already existing enterprises or companies to be able to make them pull along the very new ones that are in the system, so that we have company A that has been an existing enterprise that is doing well. Then we are able to go into some level of agreement with them, giving them some non-physical benefits, all right, that would say, all right, so we pick 10 SHS graduates for apprenticeship, all right, and because we have recruited them for apprenticeship for a year, we're going to train them in these areas. And so government is also giving us these levels of benefits as a company. Okay, we have adopted a new company that has been set up by fresh graduates. And because we've taken it upon ourselves to mentor them and to pull them along, all right, and to help them grow, we have that advantage of winning certain contracts or certain bids. Because we are not only going to be the beneficiaries, but we are helping train a young company, helping grow a young company. Now, when you have done that, you will notice that we would always have young companies growing faster than we think. We would always have these big companies helping grow the next generation. It happens in America and other places. They have the minority groups, all right? You have a company and there is a bigger one that you are attached to. They easily would win government contracts. Even private sector would easily pick them up because they are helping grow the minority. And that is what we have to be able to do. We need to be able to fix the capital system so that if I am going into a bank and I am a fresh company, fresh graduate, that we've come together to form a company, and we're going into the bank, we do not have the experience, we do not have the collateral, we do not have what it takes to be able to earn that big money, right? How is that capital market going to see us? How are they able to help us? Government should be able to put in some level of collateral that the banks will decide, or government will push them through Bank of Ghana to set aside probably 10% of their after-tax profit and say that we are investing this amount of our after-tax profit into new companies. Because at the end of the day, we set up the companies, we set up the enterprises, and what we lack is the finance.
And all these are things you mentioned in your.
These are
your,
things
your
we mentioned
manifesto.
in the
And they
Great
were good
Transformational
plan.
Plan. They were very good plans.
But unfortunately, it
Unfortunately,
didn't resonate well with the people. We saw the figures that came after the election.
Fortunately,
What
it did
happened?
resonate well with the people. The unfortunate aspect is that the people decided not to go out to vote. Now, the predictions that we had made, all right, where some we put
That is
out
from
some,
the camp of Allen.
Yes, we put out some figures that we're going to get, and now we put them in two forms. We said that, listen, either they come out to vote for us to get these numbers, or these same numbers will decide not to go out to vote at all. And of course, those numbers decided not to go out to vote at all. Okay? We won on moral grounds. Now, how did we do that? For the first time in the history of our democratic history, you saw campaigns being done on issues. You have been in the system for quite some time. You saw the 2012 2012 elections. You saw the 2016 elections. You saw the 2020 elections. Tell me which of the campaigns, all right, including 2024, was the most decent campaign and campaigns based on issues. That is because we put out this great transformational plan that had very good ideas and policies that forced the DUO to also put out policies.
So the apathy affected,
of course,
your party.
The apathy affected my candidate. I will not, but then it is because they had trust in him. But you see, the fear of that he would not be able to make the numbers was what had caused this whole apathy thing. All right? You put up a candidate that the people say they don't want. And once they don't want, they stay away because they feel that if we put out these numbers for him, he might not even be able to win. They will rig the elections. And so there were a lot of elements that people put into consideration. But at the end of the day, there was a standard that was set. I mean, if you listen to those in the NDC, all right, there are some of the things that now they come on set to talk about that they never spoke about when they were doing their campaign.
It belongs to the movement for change?
No, it doesn't. I'm just saying, all right? They talked about the 24-hour economy. But you see, they never even had the opportunity. When they were given opportunity to explain what the 24-hour economy, some of them never were able to explain.
Most of them said they were able to do that to the best of their ability.
And of course, we were saying that the end product of the Great Transformational Plan is what we call the 24-hour economy. Now, you needed to put in the best of infrastructure to be able to run an industrial agenda. And it is this industrial agenda that would end you up with a 24-hour economy. You need to be able to fix your infrastructure well. You need to be able to fix your transport system well. You need to be able to fix your security well. You need to be able to fix your electricity and power, energy sector well. All right. Now, you want to run a 24-hour economy. How many people can be recruited by Joy Prime if there is no expansion in Joy Prime?
Is that what they seek to do?
How does the expansion of Joy Prime come about? All right. No, so Joy Prime can decide that, all right, there is another young media enterprise that is growing. Okay, so we adapt them.
Okay.
All right. Technically, we train them. Okay, we help them grow. Now, that new enterprise is able to recruit fresh people. Because, I mean, we can have 2 hosts or 3 hosts having the prime morning show. It can happen. You are here this morning. Rosalind is not here. Okay, but if there was another younger one that Joy Prime has adopted, okay, and Joy Prime is earning some benefit from government, Joy Prime would be enticed and encouraged to adopt more of these younger media enterprises to grow them. Because once Joy Prime is involved in that, and there are government advertisements and educational documentaries and whatever that Joy Prime would also make some money out of, Joy Prime will be on the first list of government. Why? Because Joy Prime is not only benefiting financially from government or getting revenue from government. Joy Prime is using this same revenue to help give technical training to younger enterprises.
Okay, now I'm going to come back to you again. I think one other major thing that I would want us to look at is if indeed it is possible that in the next 120 days, some of the things that they've mentioned, they'll be able to achieve it. But you just wrap your head around it. I'll come back to you to find out if it's possible that they'll be able to achieve that. But Gideon.
Yes.
The 24-hour economy, it's always coming into the picture. It's always in doubt.
How is it in doubt? We have.
Well, you heard Nana speak about it right now. He's been professing some wisdom.
No, I am only
better than we're looking.
No, I am only professing.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
The ways and means
that could have made it even better.
That would not could have. That would make it better.
Okay.
Because you see, whether we like it or not, they have been voted for. We need to be able to help them to achieve. We have always been preaching as a movement, a government of national unity. It doesn't just mean that we want to be part of government, but then we are watchdogs. We're going to be here.
Yep.
We're going to ensure that whatever they have promised Ghanaians with, because at the end of the day, if the economy collapses, we are all in it. We kept trumpeting to the government that, hey, you need to do A, B, C, D. They were adamant. 90 MPs, or 80 to 90 MPs, held a press conference, told Mr. President, Ken Ofori-Atta is collapsing the country. We need to change him. We need to bring a new person to trigger or boost the investor confidence, to be able to reset our economy on track. The president didn't listen to us. At the end of the day, what happened? The dollar went as high as 17 Ghana cedis a dollar. And that is what we are talking about. So if we are here because we didn't have a listening government. If we are here because we had a government that felt they knew it all.
And we're not going to allow that to happen again.
Of course. I mean, if they allow it, it would help us better, because if they do not listen, they will go home faster than they came.
Okay.
Yes, that is why the home economic dialogue comes to bear. I told you that in our first 120 days, these ideas that my brother is talking about is the reason why we have that economic dialogue. And the economic dialogue is to indicate that wisdom does not lie in the head of one person.
How often are we going to be having this?
Yes, that would say in the first 120 days.
It's just once? Or it's
not once, but at least.
That's what
I mean, you know, we take it step by step. We are putting out there what we will do in our first 120 days.
Okay. And that is part of it.
That is part of it. I mentioned it. So this is where the economic dialogue comes in. Definitely, the door is open. The dialogue will mean that all parties, everyone who believes or who has ideas that will put Ghana forward and reset Ghana, will be welcome to share these ideas so that we'll take note. And as I told you, we cannot run this government alone. And so it's only important that as our doors are open, Ghanaians join us and support us. And so even though my brother says that they are not interested in governance, their ideas is very important and we will accommodate it. It is because this country is not just for the NDC. Even though we have been voted for, it is for Ghanaians. And so whatever would assist in resetting Ghana and move Ghana forward is what we will accommodate. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yes. So basically, that is it. But you are talking about this 24-hour economy. You see, whether we like it or not, that is the potent solution to our issues of unemployment. And as I've told you, Ghana will not be the first country to bring about this 24-hour economy. My brother has brought all these ideas and all that, fantastic ideas. But you have to also remember that movement for change came from the NPP because of the fact that they were dissatisfied with how the NPP treated Alan Kyerematen. His ideas were fantastic. He is welcome. Our doors are open for him to join us, not to serve in governance, but to share his ideas for us so that at least we can reset Ghana. Because looking at how he's speaking, the ideas are fantastic and it will welcome it so that at least we can reset Ghana. UK, US, Germany, France have implemented the 24-hour economy. The 24-hour economy is what would solve our unemployment because at least we would be able to bring private institutions on board because we believe that the government or the public institutions are choked. And so we cannot say that we are employing people and solving the unemployment issues. And that is why we believe that once the private institutions come on board in terms of the 24-hour economy, we are actually going to ensure that they are given financial support. And that tax incentives is key. I keep saying it, I keep reporting it. Look, private institutions in this government, this Akufo-Addo government, the reasons why most companies were actually laying off workers was because their taxes were too much. They were paying so much taxes to the extent that they couldn't pay salaries. And the city was depreciating to the extent that everything became very difficult because even when they are providing services or they are buying goods and all that, the city depreciates and affects their businesses. And no one wants his business to collapse. So automatically, the owner of the company will want to do everything possible to keep his business moving, which will mean that people will have to go home. And so once we are providing tax incentives for private institutions so that at least based on that they can save money and employ people, then that means the 24-hour will be possible. We are focusing on the agro-processing industry, pharmaceutical industry, manufacturing industry, construction industry, the financial service industry, the transportation service industry, the sanitation and waste management industry, the leisure and hospitality industry, and all that. And so this is not new. Once now we are in a small world, you can always Google how it is happening in the UK, US, Germany, and France, and you see that this is exactly what you want to do, so that at least this issue of unemployment becomes a thing of the past. Whether I like it or not, every year, right, people are graduating from the university, the technical universities, and all that, senior high school and all that. So every year you have a number of people who are sitting at home looking for jobs after national service. Some people will even want to extend their stay in national service because there are no jobs. And so this 24-hour economy is going to solve the unemployment issues. And that's why we have indicated that in our first 120 days, we are going to ensure that we begin drafting the needed legal amendments and prepare for the implementation of the 24-hour economy. Definitely, this is where the law comes in, because we don't just want it to be just government policy.
So this is something that
we want to make sure that it becomes law. Exactly. So that just like the way free SHS has come to stay, right? That's what we also want to do. At least whether we like it or not, as I've always indicated, free SHS was not started by the MPP. The NDC started on a small scale. The MPP came and opened it up. We are grateful. We are going to continue. We are only going to, review it and try and improve upon it. Let me say it that way. We are not going to scrap free SHS. We are rather going to improve upon it. So free SHS has come to stay. And obviously, when we started on a foundational basis, we started with, day school. The MPP came, opened it up, and today everyone is enjoying free SHS. Definitely, we will look at the mistakes, the errors, and try and correct it so that at least to become better. Because obviously, we know that currently, even though people go to school, they spend so much money in terms of food and all that. And so the NDC will come, we'll sit down, we'll have a dialogue and make sure that whatever flaws that is currently there in terms of the free SHS, we correct them and it comes to stay. And that's what's happening to our economy. And I'm telling you that once the legal amendments are made and we prepare the implementation for the kickoff of the 24-hour economy, you will call me here again and you would testify, you actually give a testimony that your people in your community or your hometown or whatever are enjoying or have jobs to do, and that because of the 24-hour economy, they are not sitting at home again. Just like the way right now, it is even difficult to get someone to be a house help because USHS has come to stay. That's what's also going to happen. Because obviously, because of the 24-hour economy, people have jobs to do, and they would actually not be sitting at home doing nothing and be engaging in social vices.
Very well. Nana, let me invite our viewers. Please do well and send your messages. Let us know. I'm sure you also understand that many things have been said in terms of how we're able to restructure the economy and how we're able to make sure that we move the country forward. But the president-elect is hoping that he'll be able to build a Ghana that we're all going to be proud of, and he believes that it's a Ghana that will be the blaster of Africa. We've been always saying it, almost every time people mention it, how do we make Ghana the blaster of Africa and all of that. Now, this is his legacy he wants to leave behind and want to find out, is it possible? Is this something that will be able to be achieved in 4 years? And if you think it's possible, what are some of the things that you can also suggest things that you want them to know and do so that they can make it even possible? Because the NDC believes that it's all Ghana, NDC, because they want to listen to Ghanaians. And so you can also share your thought with us, and then let's see how they're able to also incorporate that in achieving what they want to achieve. I'll be coming back to some of your messages very soon. But let me take your thought on this one. We know from where we are right now, it's almost impossible for any ordinary Ghanaian to believe that with all the things that we've seen, all the mess that we've seen, we'll be able to turn things around moving forward. Is Alan and Movement for Change ready to assist government in making sure that whatever it is that we have had or we have done, we'll be able to change everything and make the Ghana that we're all looking for, especially with the president saying that he's about to build a Ghana that will be, the last of Africa.
The issues being projected by the Movement for Change in Ireland were very simple. The issues had to do with how to deal with corruption, how to deal with the issues of our mineral resource management, for lack of time, let's say galamsey. How to deal with the issues of unemployment, what I always term as the bread and butter. How are we able to push that agenda? See, the Movement for Change in Alan Kyerematen would continue to project the voice or our voices on national issues. We would continue to push the industrial agenda. We would continue all of this based on principles of inclusion, integrity, and mindset change. Governance to us is not just being at the forefront or holding positions.
Okay.
Governance to us is when we have been able to sit round the table to discuss the merits of the matter and to be able to project a framework to solving the problems. Ghanaians are not interested in who takes which position. Ghanaians are interested in who is able to deal with the issue of bread and butter, the economy. Who deals best with the issue of corruption, so that we will not have somebody come to say that I will not be involved in a government of, what's the name, friends and family.
Okay.
But we would end up having those same people going beyond the friends and family into issues of, I'm told that they had at some levels concubines and great ancestors all being part.
As the former, the NPP?
And then you would have a very good friend of ours go on Twitter now as to go and say that it is like that because in their family, their grandfathers and fathers took time to educate them and to take them to the best of schools and all that, and that is why.
What are you referencing?
Are holding.
I'm lost a bit, so.
Ghanaians are aware, they know it. And so you see, governance goes beyond that. Right. And of course, if this is not the first time we are going to hold a national dialogue, as a movement, we held a national dialogue on the economy when we brought up that helped us to redesign our great transformational plan. Your team was invited, Joy and everybody was there. It was held at, I think, Movenpick or so. All right, so this is not the first time we are going to hold a national dialogue. But the point is, at the end, when we have held a national dialogue, and then solutions are professed, and policies are drafted out of the national dialogue, are we going to have a government that would implement these practical policy prescriptions? Holding the national dialogue is one thing. Getting the policy prescriptions is another thing. And implementing these policy prescriptions to the latter is also another thing. Now, you are able to do this when you look beyond partisan politics. when you go on the line of a government of national unity, when you put Ghana first and not your party, that is where you are able to achieve it. Because if you hold a national economic dialogue or policy dialogue, whatsoever you want to call it, and you only do it for the optics of it, all right, and you do not look beyond your party, you've done nothing. And we've seen a lot of these things where people are called to bring policies and, frameworks and, solutions. They push them along. Alan Kyerematen, when he was Minister for Trade and Industry, held a dialogue for the business community. The CEO's dialogue and all of that. He put together the captains of industry. Because you see, these are men who are out there. They are involved in the day-to-day economic activities. They recruit people. They employ people. They have wages and bills on their desk that they have to look for money to pay. And so if you're looking for solutions to fix the economy, you don't go to that gentleman who is in suit and tie. I'm not referring to you.
I know.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because they sit in the comfort of their air conditions and they do not understand how to make money out there. They do not understand what goes into economic growth. They just look into the books and the papers. But when you hold a dialogue that involves the practical men, the industry men who are out there and facing the heat, they are able to give you practical prescriptions. They do not give you book prescriptions. You understand?
Yeah.
So they will not come and tell you that when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. And when they have gone out there and the exchange rate is exposing them, they come back to tell you that it's still the same, but then. No, we are not looking for excuses.
But Nana, from what you've seen within the last few years to where we're going to right now with elections and the projections and all of that, you think the president-elect is in the position to not just listen to dialogues, but implement them? I mean, looking at where we have the humility, the projections, the overwhelming win, and all that.
He has seen what they have done to the NPP. Maybe you don't understand what happened, though. Let me tell you. Let me take you to Ashanti region. How many seats did the NPP lose? 9 or so, 7 or 9. The stronghold.
Yeah.
Let me take you to Bono region. The entire of the Doma area, the NPP lost it. The entire of the Brokum area, the NPP lost it. The entire of the Sunyani area, the NPP lost it. These are traditional seats. If the president-elect and his men will not see this as a lesson, and they want to come on the tangent of Ethiopia and the dead goods syndrome, my brother, what happened yesterday? What happened today? Their own party would rise up against them. Ghana is moved to a different tangent. Ghanaians have realized that if a single independent presidential candidate like Alan Kyerematen was able to put together a policy solution to our problems, that every single person who had the opportunity to read and to digest the Great Transformational Plan saw a simple, achievable, practical solution, they do not see why the big parties are not able to work on it. If you listen to them, notice I say if you listen to them, even on the issue of governance when it comes to the constitutional reforms, you know, they just mentioned that they are going to have a constitutional reform, blah, blah. They didn't actually give specifics. From the day they won, listening to Kujato and a few of them on some of the other networks, they are now mentioning specifics. And whatever they are mentioning, if you take the Great Transformational Plan and you open to the place where we have the constitutional reforms, the governance, you notice that those are the things we had listed. All right. The solution is in the Great Transformational Plan. It is a standard. When we are talking about agriculture, they mentioned the akoko nkete. All right, people were actually making fun of it.
Yeah.
But when food is in abundance and the prices drop and everybody is able to afford, and if we are able to actually have a clear-cut processing of addition of value for export, not only are we going to have food on our table, we are going to be able to attract inflows because of the export.
Yeah.
There is a practical approach of that in the Great Transformational Plan, whereby we're pushing for the expansion of plantations into agro-parks. Very much achievable. So that we will not have a bare land like Palugu, where we could have done better. All right. So we have set a certain standard. That once we are able to match that standard, okay, and we see good in the standard, which Ghanaians are applauding and calling for, I believe that we can be able to move Ghana from where it is now. Because, as I said earlier in my preamble, we are not only looking at moving the economy from where we are. We are looking at recovering and reviving and recovering the economy to a level where we would grow it to become a resilient economy. All right? And then we move it from being a resilient economy to becoming a prosperous economy. And this is very much achievable.
Very much achievable. I don't know about you, but let me get into some of the messages that viewers have sent to us and see if they also think that these things that we've mentioned are all things that are very much achievable. This one says, good morning, Mr. Host. In fact, I like your suit. Thank you. I congratulate His Excellency John Mahama for the historical mark on his political life. I will want to remind John Mahama not to allow Akufo-Addo to take away the presidential chair. Ignatius from Bolga Centre. Okay, so that's some humor right there. Gideon, yes. Are we sticking to the presidential chair?
Oh, well, you know, as a humble president like President John Mahama, there's nothing like a presidential chair.
Well, but they want you guys to keep it. They don't want you to let him take away the presidential chair. So maybe you should be thinking about it. This one says, good morning, Joy Prime. Did you listen to former finance minister, what he said on TV3, that USA and Europe has free SHS and we have to copy from them because boarding schools for the rich and day schools are for poor. Is that, I lost that because the messages keep coming. Okay, is that division we want for Ghana? Zamalana in Tamale says so. I think this is something that we've been all talking about here. We all know that it happens elsewhere, and so I'm sure it's just the building that app and making sure that it becomes even better. KMJ, good morning. My greatest joy in this election is Miracle Duka losing his seat. Please, ECG have begun giving people albatross bills, of which the explanation they are given when you call them is very weird. Why are they now giving us bills from 2022, whereby ECG was producing bills for payment to update? Okay, so that's some concern raised over there. We'll try and see how ECG responds to that. Now, Greetings, Joy Prime. What did JDM say when he was interviewed by BBC? Clearly, there's no future for the leadership of JDM government. We know him and we can tell what he's made of. NPP 2028 is highly a showdown and very positive, possible the legacy. Okay, so we're heading towards that aspect of a comeback. Good morning, host. Although we voted for change, we must be modest in our demands since NPP has looted all state funds and mortgaged all revenue sources like Get Fund, e-levy, or your revenues. JDM must be quick to seize all stolen assets and withhold privileges and extra share to NPP officials for destroying livelihoods, pension funds, forest reserves, and water bodies in breach of their oaths of office to protect lives and properties. Let me go to Musa Abator in Sawase, and it says it's disappointing to see the EC has not been truthful to themselves. In 2020 elections, Jean Mensah stated categorically that after the collation, any aggrieved person should go to court. By 2024 elections, aggrieved persons can demand to be collated. What kind of double standard is this? It appears they are still struggling to accept the reality that the silent majority outweighs their parochial interests. It's high time we acknowledge the true voice of the people and act accordingly. Let me go to this one over here. It says, please, is the EC still at post? I thought she should resign immediately after declaring JDM and the NDC the winner. Jean Mensah, Bossman, Asari, and Akufo-Addo appointees must do the needful by resigning. Well, it's a process, so let's take it a step at a time. Good morning, Mr. Host. Ask the NDC guy to tell me how they can implement something they can't explain. The NPP has lost the election because our president did not listen to us, including some of our leader in the various constituencies, which has resulted in some of the party members refusing to vote. As always, the NDC will fail even if they had more opportunities. Edmond Garasu legacy from Ketaba. Edmond, if the one that was not listening to you midlife what it is for you right now, why are you wishing the other person that is hoping to make things better bad? I don't know why you want to justify this in any way, but I think that you have admitted that your party government didn't listen to you. So why are you wishing the other one who's hoping that he will change things for you bad? Sometimes I don't know how we look at some of these things, but Meshach Asante in Amasaman says, finally, the second independent of Ghana is going to be declared and celebrated on January 7, 2025. Indeed, who Jah bless, no one cares. The stone that was rejected 8 years ago has now become the most important stone which will be used to rebuild our country, Ghana. Indeed, posterity has judged President Mahama, as he said in 2016 after his election defeat. Greetings to the MP-elect for Amasaman constituency, Honorable Sedam Afenyo. Well, it even brings him a greater responsibility now that he's won these elections. And so you probably also should be thinking about that aspect as well, and not just because it's a win and a win for Ghana, but it also gives him a very great responsibility moving forward. Al-Hassan Assessor from Zenu Central says, good morning. To everyone, if the Electoral Commission bosses has taken any monies from the NPP to do recollation, for them, they should better vomit the money back to the NPP and stop embarrassing themselves. Madam Jean Mensah once told the NDC that they should go to court since the results have been declared. What has changed? Jean Mensah cannot pick and choose when to do recollation and when not to do it because it is going against a party NPP. This one over here says, good morning is... Okay, good morning, KMJ. Let's maintain peace in the country and forge ahead. Ghanaians have spoken to prove their displeasure with the NPP, KMJ. Even at your station, we used to send messages to advise them that we are suffering, but they refused to listen. Whereas Mr. EC, who used to be at your station arguing the lawyer, Jantua, okay, please, I'm begging NPP to pay WAEC the debt they owe, 118 million, so that WAEC can release our children's results. Why, I beg. John B. from Achimtafel. We're hoping that the NPP representative will have joined us this morning, but unfortunately, he's not been able to join us. So some of these questions I'm sure he would have been able to answer. But Mr. Georgia, you see here, even me, I'm looking for him. I think I've not heard from him for a while now, but I need to find out how he's doing. I'll check on him.
Nation,
I think I've not heard from him for a while now. Good morning, Joy Prime, for your information. Onion TV has shown videos of MPP footages looting from NADMO offices. I think this video has been around on most of our platforms as well. We've shown them severally, and we have been hoping that the Ghana police will be able to take care of some of these issues. And so, yeah, Pauli, yeah, I understand. It's something that even the NDC is trying to also respond to it as well. So let's hope that some of these issues will be tackled as soon as possible. This one says, "Good morning, KMJ. Shame to the man who said NDC will fail." Which man is that you're referring to? Let me know. Kudos to Joy Prime for the election coverage. Fantastic. NDC forward, ever backwards, never. Good morning, KMJ and your panelists. Letitia, your building site. Letitia, we're glad that we'll be able to, do this for you every year. I mean, there's no elections without the election headquarters. And so I'm excited about the fact that you guys appreciate the effort we're putting to bringing you that standard election coverage that you experience every year. We promise that we're going to stick to it and ensure that every year you get to have the very best of election coverage. We love you. Good morning, sir. The NPP lost this election because of arrogance of people like Paul Adomoche, who never see anything bad in what another government is doing. He won't defend everything. The negligence of Prof. Mpong's report was another thing. We are allegedly hearing that he's traveled out of the country. Some people who are close to him have said they've called him several times and not been able to reach him. And so he's somewhere in the UK. Allegations, says so, but we're not been able to independently verify that. You miss him, don't you?
No, I don't watch his program.
Okay.
I don't watch his program. So.
Gideon? Well, I watch his program a
of
couple
course,
of times.
because really.
So,
I have other comic videos that I watch.
Okay,
that is fine.
Well, if he's left the country, that's fine. I mean, it will not stop us from operation recover all loot.
But as for that, yes.
The shame and embarrassment, you understand? This gentleman had the opportunity to interview Alan John Kyerematen when he was minister on a couple of occasions. When Alan was launching his great transformational plan, he was invited. Do you understand?
Yeah.
He was sent copies of the great transformational
he didn't show up.
plan. Then you come and tell Ghanaians on your program that Alan has not launched or presented to Ghanaians any policy plan or whatsoever. And I was shocked to my bones. I was like, So the great transformational plan that we presented and became a discussion for weeks in Ghana. Paul never saw it. See, you can, when you take money to do something, all right, when you are paid to destroy somebody, at least, not when you have a relationship with the person. You try to do it with some respect. You understand me? But let's leave it for another day.
Very well. But maybe we'll be coming to the concluding part of our conversation this morning.
And I just hope some of you, the young ones in the broadcast media and journalism and all that, would learn from the shame he's gotten himself into, so that you do not follow your stomach. And I'm being very blunt.
May God be our helper. Like I said, you can also join us and send your messages, but we say a big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise, still phone Papa Path here, and they're making it possible for us to have this conversation. I'm still entreating you to go out there and get some iPhones, some Nokia, some Samsung, some CCTV cameras. We've got refrigerators, we've got air conditionings that we're selling, and we're guaranteed you of quality. And so please do well and buy from us. Our branches are everywhere in the country, and you can go on our app. Franco Trading app is available on Google Play Store. You can download it and you get to know our branches, our numbers, and you can call the number on your screens, but do not pick any number on social media to speak to us on there. A lot of fraudsters out there. So please do well and speak to us on these numbers that you're seeing on your screens right now. Our website is also available. It's www.francotrading.com, and you can get all the details you need over there as well. Franco Trading Enterprise says still phones Papa Pafi. 40% discount on all accessories you buy from us, guaranteed. Gideon.
Yes.
Where are we now? In terms of the transition process, when are we finishing? Do you have any idea when we're finishing and when possibly the president would also be giving his submission on that?
Well, I think it's ongoing. I cannot tell when we're actually finishing, but I think that so far so good. There has been enough cooperation, and so
you read about the communications that were
yes. But well, you see, we've been here before, and so it doesn't matter whatever communication that has been done. Don't forget, the MPP is out of power, and so if the spokesperson for the transition team is Honorable Felix Ofosu-Kwakye has indicated a discussion, and the minister for is saying that, well, when we are sworn into power, all these things that they are doing will come to a knot. And so for me, transition team is by law, it must happen.
Yeah.
And so we will not waste our time having a banter. What the position of the transition team in terms of appointments and all that is what the Honorable Felix Ofosu-Kwakye has stated. Whatever conflicting communique is our back case. And if the MPP feels that they can do it, no problem. When we are sworn into power, we will act the way it must be done according to law. So for us, as I said, the transition team is part of law. So far, so good. There are no issues. I mean, everything's going the way it must go. And so definitely once it is done, a response, you will get a response from us.
Okay, let me take your last comment on that, but that will be all for you.
No, that's not all for me.
Okay, so then please you have to end. But
this is an overwhelming. Yeah, you didn't ask me about concluding, so let me conclude.
Please go ahead.
Let me conclude. Indeed, we are going to Parliament with a 2/3 majority. Clearly, it means that the MPP will be actually infinitesimal in terms of matters of decision making. We are grateful to Ghanaians. We are not going to abuse the power. We are going to be accountable. No, we are going to be accountable to Ghanaians. We are going to be humble to Ghanaians. We are not going to be arrogant to Ghanaians, because we believe that what has happened to us may happen, what has happened in favor of us may happen against us if we decide to follow the footsteps of the MPP. And we have learned enough not to repeat. No, but I'm telling you, I'm speaking here on behalf of the NDC. Don't forget that I'm a regional director of the Greater Accra.
Absolutely.
So I'm a regional executive.
Individual thing.
No, but I'm speaking
what you want
on behalf of the NDC.
Any other person?
No, but don't forget that my position here is the position of the party. I'm not here to speak on my own.
No, I understand.
Yes,
I never said otherwise.
Yes.
What I'm saying is, when it comes to what you're saying and what an individual who is a member of parliament, who is a minister wants to do at any level,
His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has indicated that if you know that you are coming to occupy a position to come and misbehave, then you are not invited. You'll be removed. And so this is the position.
I mean,
yeah. So His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will not hesitate. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
We saw arrogance.
Yes, but
we saw all of
His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will not hesitate to sack any appointee who decides to show arrogance and decides not to be accountable to people. Because, as I'm telling you, what has happened to the MPP, where now we have 2/3 majority, we have majority in parliament, 2/3 majority, and that the MPP will remain infinitesimal in terms of decision making, means that if we decide to follow the footsteps of the MPP, ours may be worse. And we are not ready to repeat the mistakes of the MPP.
Absolutely. Because maybe you will not, and some others will not be ready, but there are others.
I'm telling you that, says that if the others decide to behave, they'll be sacked.
Exactly.
Because we will not allow ourselves to be humiliated like the way the people are humiliated by Ghanaians. No. This is a clear sign that Ghanaians are discerning. And that they know their left from their right. And that if they say that enough is enough, this is the results that government will get. And so we will not repeat those mistakes. And they should trust us that, as I've indicated, our first 120 days, what will happen at 10 policies, you'll be here and you'll testify that what we have indicated here and other platforms that my colleague communicators have indicated will come to pass.
We'll definitely be here.
Exactly true. Exactly
applaud you for it.
Yes, exactly true. But not with your folded arms. But your support and prayers, one way or the other.
We've always given support. Of course. You need a listening government to be able to see your support.
We have the listening here.
That you're giving.
We have learned the mistakes that will not repeat. Don't forget that we have been president. My President has been president before. We've been in power before, 4 years. And so we've learned our mistakes. We've seen what the MPP has done. We've seen what Ghanaians have done to the MPP. We've seen what Ghanaians have even done to us. Don't forget that we lost close to 1 million.
Yep.
And this time, God has even added, these people have, NPP has lost over 1 million, 1.7. Then, that should tell you that, look, right now, if you misbehave, Ghanaians will not spare you and will not repeat that mistake.
Very well.
There is another in tree that says that Kasatente Topong. We have let that.
Oh, of course, of course.
You don't believe that?
Oh, no. No, it's only a fool who doesn't change his mind. If you have been there before, you want to repeat the same mistakes. I'm saying that we have been power before, Lou. We've been power before, 4 years. That's why it says Mama is having last year. We've been power before. We've lost before when we were in power and we felt that.
In fact, you've seen it all.
Of course. And so, you think that we are coming to power to come and misbehave? No. Then it means that we are not thinking. We will not repeat that mistakes. And you will see the poster of the very humble. That's to the extent that he was even sharing food. Very, very humble. Even his acceptance speech, the way he spoke, you could see that he has gone through it. He remembers and knows where he came from. This time, we will not repeat those.
John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, aside him attending Ghana Secondary School, which is not the best in the north, because as compared to Tamale Secondary School where I attended, he's a very fine gentleman. You know, nobody who's attended Tamale School will praise somebody who attended Ghana School. It doesn't happen.
You know.
So, but he's a fine gentleman.
Yeah.
He might have learned his lessons, but as the ministers those days, the MCs, the DCs, the appointees, have they learned their lessons? Are they ready to have that mindset change? My only advice to His Excellency is that he should have a lot of kings in his office and should be ready to crack the whip, if only he wants to leave a good legacy. He shouldn't spare the rod, because if he does that, he would spoil the child if he wants to go far. But on the transition, I don't see where there should be brouhaha. It is clear in the Act 845, Act 2012. If you look at the section 6 of it, and I'm reading just a couple of lines. Just the 3 of it says that the handing over notes shall reflect the accurate developments which have taken place during the tenure of office and the projections of development to take place before the end of the full tenure. The original and 5 other copies of handing over notes shall be presented to the Administrator General appointed under Section 8, Clause 2, not later than 30 days before the date of the presidential elections. All right? Now, what I mean to say is, if you have prepared your handing over notes and you have presented it to the Administrator General and you want to take major economic impacting decisions, you need to be able to revert to the transition team. It is assumed, the lawyers are here, you're a lawyer, am I right?
Exactly. Yep.
So it is assumed that an injunction has been put on all economic activities. And so if you need to take any major one, you need to go back to the court, in simple terms, to go and ask permission. So you cannot have a transition team put in place. It's been inaugurated. The processes have started. It is the notes you have presented that they are going to use for their work. And you are in your offices and your agencies and taking major decisions. It can't happen. You understand? Now, if you are recruiting 300 people into one organization, the effect or the weight it puts on the wage bill of that organization is huge. This is not 1 or 2 persons that they are recruiting because of their expertise. This is a whole recruitment you are doing. You're going to sign a contract at this time when you have handed your notes to the Administrator General and it's been given to the transition team and they're working on it. No, it is not done. You need to be able to go to the team to seek clearance so that they know that, listen, the notes we've been given and we are working on or with, there would be some changes as we go along because this is happening in agency A, this is happening in ministry A, this is happening at the presidency. But you do not do things at the blind side of the transition team. And then they will finish the transition, come to their office, and realize that certain major decisions were taken. It would be unfair to Ghanaians. All right. And so whatever they are doing, and their various agencies or the various ministries, they should know that it has dire consequences. And if I were them, you see, I think that Ghana, that was what Alan was talking about. It is us having a leader who would be ready and would have that political will to ensure that all the rules of the game are indeed triggered. Because if we have a leader who would push this button, all right, and ensure that people who actually do not go by the rules are punished and dealt with, we would not be where we are today. How on earth would you have a transition team in place that have started work and you are in your office recruiting over 300 people? You are in your office promoting over 200 people. When did the process start? Was it before the elections? Now, the law makes it clear. It says 30 days. I mean, sometimes why do we not have people of integrity? You had 8 years to recruit people. You had 8 years to recruit your party people. You never recruited them. You had 8 years to give them scholarships. You never gave them scholarships. You had 8 years to give them contracts. You never gave them contracts. 2 days to your exit. That is hypocritical. That is ungodly. That is shameful.
Very well. Thank you. Thank you so much, Nana. And that will be our conversation for News Flash this morning. Let me say a good morning to Viva Iris Gishia. You are watching right now. You're a gospel musician. You're watching the show this morning. A very good morning to you. And there's a message that came through. Let me see if I can do it real quick and then I'll be out of here. This one says that Mesa Majid sent this one from the Chim, Toronto. It says, good morning, KMJ. Congratulations to Honorable Charles Siedu, MP elect for Tano South constituency and JDM. We thank all the good people of Tano South for voting massively for Honorable Charles Siedu and JDM. What happened in Sun North really happened in Tano South. Again, the MP shared money, but it didn't save him from losing. The message, okay, all right. So this election was not about sharing anything because anything you share will be collected and you'll still be voted out. Yes. You share anything, you're still voted out. So
they both shared.
No.
Both shared.
We are not
somebody
denying.
overshared.
No. You see, we are not. You see, look at the routes. Can you imagine this commission was hurriedly done and the routes were being.
The NPP didn't learn its lessons.
What's so funny?
In 2008.
Oh.
After the first round, President Kufuor took certain decisions that at the end of the day, Ghanaians were like, so you could have done this and you never did it. And MPP lost this power in 2022. It was said by Kennedy, it was said by some of the MPs. Some of us mentioned to them that, listen, the power is gone. You understand? They were only clapping for themselves and tickling themselves and laughing. You know this.
Defeat.
You know this.
Humiliating.
Wait, have you been to the north before?
once.
Oh, so Unim Bambaya. dance.
Asabambaya. Yeah, I was part of the cultural
they
trip, so I know
put
that dance very
these
well. Around
metallic
just
things
shake
and
your
their
waist,
legs.
yeah,
Okay.
all of that.
So when you have that thing around your waist and your legs, and you are in a race, and you are running, if you're not careful, you might think people are clapping for you that you are one of the first. Yeah, why now?
Anyway, gentlemen, thank you so much this morning for the time. And a very good morning to my brother, Yabua. He's part of the NPP communications team. And yesterday, he did some very wonderful work in his hometown where he was born, donated to the church at the Presbyterian Church in Osinase. So very, very big love to you for that gesture. And we spent some quality time as well over there, and really loved that area as well. I think there's not been a lot of, I hear that the minister over there was, the MP was a minister over there, and for 8 years, he never did anything. If you see the road that leads into that village, it's terrible. And we had a lot of conversation around it. He's an MP member as well, so he looks at it as like, this is what I'm talking about. But you know,
that's
we're hoping
now
that
the NPP will now be infinitesimal in decision making. We don't need them. If they like, they shouldn't come to parliament. We don't need them.
Gideon Tettey Tetteh is a lawyer, the regional director for conflict resolution for the NDC, and Nanaya Sapo is political assistant to Island Movement for Change. We're hoping that Solomon Asante would have joined us this morning from the communications team of the NPP. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it.
It's very painful. It's painful. 8 years. We've been here before.
I pray for you.
Oh, yeah.
I pray for you.
It's painful.
Alive.
Do you know the story in the Bible that talks about that man who went to pray to God and then told God that he is not like the Gentile?
Yeah.
You understand? And that God should look at him because he's right, but he's not like the Gentile. And no be no, you know.
Oh, no, but don't forget. Courage
4 years
said the same
far.
thing at GBC breakfast where we are today. We are still not in power. We are in power.
No, we are not saying we are in power.
All right,
if
I leave this
Bible
verses over here, I'm not sure we'll wrap up the show, but let me say a big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise. And see what the Golden Girl has got some gist for you, and it's on What's Trending. Okay, we'll reset Ghana. What's Trending is coming up next. The CEO of the Golden Girl is bringing you all the updates on that. Now, finally, Lato will be coming through with some sports news as well. A bit later, we've got the DWP Academy also joining us here on the show. And also, we've got Kyerematen Earthy also coming through this morning on entertainment. And Women in Business, we're taking a look at the first vice female president in the country and what women alike feels about it. That conversation also coming through here on the show. There's more. Do stay.